How's it going, guys? All right, it is Monday. We have had an awesome day. I mean, whoever thought Mondays could actually be so much fun? I am so excited to see what we did today, right? I did wake up a little bit later than most of you guys because we all know my ass is not out of bed until like noon on most days. Um, but to wake up and see the Ken Griffin lied hashtag just roaming through Twitter was amazing. And it kind of panned out really at a fantastic time for me because I had posted the picture of, never interrupt your enemy while they're making a mistake, right? Like, it's just something you don't do. And so to see, to have that pinned last night before I went to bed and then to wake up to that, it was just amazingly just epic to see. And so this is why tonight is just hype. Tonight, like, you guys can hear it, like I am so ecstatic. Like, it was just an amazing day for me in general, just because we did go have a beach day because it was just that kind of day. It was, everything is working out, everything with the ape community seems good. And it was just a good day. It felt like it was January all over again. Like, that hype, that fight and everything, it just came right back to the community. And it was just amazing to see that a lot of people were just, getting that trending. So I am inviting anybody and everybody to, come and talk and everything, whatever you want to say about today and how you're feeling with Ken Griffin being called out on Twitter, then silencing, censoring, whatever you want to say, our hashtag. And at least in the state side, like, I know some people use their VPNs to work around and see it in Canada and Europe and everywhere else in the world that Ken Griffin lied was still trending, whereas here in the States all we could see was Ken Griffin was trending. So that was an amazing thing. And then the cherry on top tonight, Citadel Securities tweeting out. They actually tweeted out today trying to cover their asses, and let's just say it didn't do them any justice because everybody called their bullshit out today. It was the best thing I could have imagined seeing. Like, I mean, it could have been anything that they tweeted out. I mean, they should have just stayed silent. That would have been the best case scenario for their asses right now. But nope, they tweeted out with the same freaking narrative that they had that failed them months ago. Glizzy, what's going on YouTube? To the window, to the wall, hell yes. Johnny Rocket, what's going on? I see you in here. And Tampa Kurt is in the house too. So yeah, I'm actually really stoked. It's it just, I woke up today, and it's really funny because I ended up having to sleep in our daughter's bed last night because she woke up kind of like after like 3 hours of being asleep. So I was not sure how today was going to go. I had an MRI for my brain today. That was, nerve-wracking in itself. And so I was uncertain how today was actually going to go. So you guys, like, unknowingly, you guys totally made my day. Like, I went into the MRI machine laughing. Like, they were like, okay, you have to sit still. And I'm like, you don't understand what's going on right now in my world. And so I had to actually tell the rad techs today about what was going on, and they got a little kick out of it. They were older women. They had no idea about GameStop or anything, so now they do. They got a little lesson today. But it was just funny. So they were like, you have to sit still for 20 minutes. You'll be okay. Just sit still. And I'm like, okay. I wonder what the apes are doing. So, but no, I'm super proud of you guys today. It was, I saw King Diamond Hands, just like blocks of just wall text of just Ken Griffin lied and the Ken Griffin to jail. Man, I swear if this does not become a thing, if he gets off, if there's any which way I'm counting a dozen people at this point. There's about a dozen people that need to be in jail at this point. If it's all 08 and only one person goes to jail and it's because their own stupidity, I expect so much from the ape community at that point. Like, that might be really wrong, but we'd have to be raising our voices going, what in the actual hell? So yeah, I don't know. Rolling on the Floor of Vlad published a Wall Street Journal article about market access and just tweeted about it. No, he didn't. No, he did not. You need to put that up in the nest. I need to see this. It's sad because nothing is going to come of it. It could. It could, Johnny Rocket. It could. I Hambone has a lot of notorious things that he keeps, he's said throughout the years. And, this kind of comes, being together 11 years, you hear the same phrases a few hundred times. But he said, as he says, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? If we just have to keep being the damn squeaky wheel, that's all we have to keep doing. We just got to keep being a thorn in their side. The thing that doesn't go away. Eventually, something's going to come of this. Whether it's, the MOAS, which, hi, yes, of course, that's exactly what we want. But I personally want to see someone's, I should say, there's more than one, that need to be held accountable. This bullshit is done. Like, my mother being my mother. She is part of my moral compass. And she even told me, she called me out today, guys. You'll love this. She was like, you don't like people being mean to you. Why are you doing this on Twitter? And I said, Mom, I am a good person. I am a nice person. I do what's right. At least I always try to do what's right 100% of the time. I'm human. I'm imperfect. But I was like, this person that I am tweeting about was part of the reason you lost your house in '08. This is why I am fighting. It's because of these people. They laugh and they think it's, just, oh, jolly good time, blah, blah, blah. And, I had to explain to her. I said, these aren't good people. And so, but needless to say, she called me out on it. And I hope something comes of this. I do, because they cannot continue to get away with this. Slaps on the wrist and fines and everything that doesn't teach them. It doesn't at all. They don't care. Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get caught up on this whole Ken Griffin thing. But one of the things that was taught to me in my previous profession is that I should put this: you communicate effectively verbally. You don't put anything in writing. Um, Not that it applied to me in my case or any of the people that I work with, but when we were going back and investigating things, you would note that there's phone calls being made, but there was nothing written down. So it just truly amazes me that one Citadel comes out, oh, there's nothing to see here, yada yada yada, and then Ken Griffin lied being removed. And then if you pull the string back and seeing how much Citadel owns Twitter, where's the connection there? Was there a phone call? I'd like to see the phone records, just for timing wise, between both Citadel Twitter and Citadel and Robinhood and vice versa. Because, like I said, smart lawyers will tell their clients not to put anything in writing if it's shady.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's the whole thing right there, right? Is that if you don't put it in writing, then it becomes a he said, she said type situation. But I don't think they're that smart. I actually don't think they are that smart to where they won't do it, because they never thought they'd get caught, right? That's the whole thing that I'm wondering.
I totally that's my point I'm making. These sort of documents that have been released, once things start moving and they start looking at those records, there's definitely something written down. This is just what we know. This is just scratching the surface. That's just my honest opinion.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see um what comes of this. Johnny Rocket's saying Kenny owns 6% of Twitter. That does not surprise me. That does not surprise me one bit. These the rich, the powerful, whatever you want to say, they control everything, right? I hate that. I absolutely freaking hate that. And that is something, I'm hoping after MOAS and everything, we can have an ape owned social media, an ape owned, not mainstream, but news media, like, what I'm trying to do or whatever, where truth is there, no censorship, I'm sorry. If you're going to sit here and speak out of your ass whenever you're on social media, Twitter doesn't need to sit there and protect you. If I'm sorry, if you're going to say it and take, own it at that point. I don't know. Can't stop. What's going on?
Not much. I just want to say it's the same thing like when Google was taken down, like, but they took down like 250,000 fucking reviews, bad reviews about Robinhood. They just fucking disappeared. Like, I'm pretty sure that Griffin or fucking Citadel didn't have to contact Twitter to take that shit down. It's just like, pretty sure it's like a known thing. That shit back in January was a little more deeper, so I'm pretty sure that's why they actually had to fucking contact each other. But something like this today, or like the whole Google with the Robinhood fucking reviews, like, that's just like a known thing between them, I would assume.
Well, Tyrese is now reporting from YouTube that Twitter is no longer letting me use Ken Griffin lied hashtag. It gives me an error only for that hashtag. What? Here, oh.
Let's test it.
Let's test it. Sorry guys, I have to flip my phone. Alright. Tweet it out. Testing for hashtag Ken Griffin lied. Okay, well I was able to do mine. Now watch, my Twitter's gonna crash.
Mine worked too.
Yeah, mine worked. Okay.
I just don't know if we're gonna see it. Like, earlier I couldn't see it trending. It just said Ken Griffin or some
Yeah,
shit, or just Citadel. I was like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
that was the weird thing. So I saw it for like 2 or 3 hours, and it was trending at like #1. It was so crazy to see that. I was like, what the hell are the apes up to? And I should have screenshotted. I really should. I know a lot of people did, so I'm not worried about that. But within a few hours, I was in the car and I looked and I said Ken Griffin trending, and I was like, that's not what that said. That's not what they're doing. I have no idea. It's really weird. Tyrese says, that's weird. When I used it for a post, it worked. That's weird. They're doing something with it. They don't want it out. That's for sure. But no, it just made my day. It really did. Like, and I mean, what's funny is like the market was just kind of sideways all day. Which is kind of fascinating, actually, is the fact that, we could had like I said, it reminded me of like the end of January, mid-February time frame. Just the vibe I was getting through Twitter. I didn't really get to talk to anybody today, but just the vibe I was getting, it took me back to that time, which was such an amazing time frame for the ape community, because it was just so much passion and so much power, and people just, memeing their way through things. And I don't know, it was just a fun day. If I used Ken Griffin lied, it doesn't work. Don't type testing and try. Wait, what? Billionaire Club takes care of its own. Yeah, right, JS, 100%. It was like 10 minutes for me because I didn't see it earlier. This is what it tells me. Something went wrong, but don't fret. Let's give it another shot. Only for that tweet. Tag. Johnny Rocket says, hashtag Kenny is a douchebag. That might work. Guys, no, don't do that one. We can't confirm that. We can confirm that he lied. And that he should go to jail. We don't know, I do not want to start seeing any kind of memes with Kenny as a douchebag, please. We don't need to see that at all. But yeah, today was just, I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens for the rest of this. It works. Did you see they tweeted back? Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, right. They I cannot believe that. I can't stop. What's your take on that? Them tweeting out their basic cue cards from the
Hey, It's simple, right? Like they're trying to play fucking semantics, word salad. Like that's pretty much what they're doing. Like, oh, he did not say this on January 27th. Like, just shut the fuck up, dude. We fucking know. It's like uh what's her name? Radio like comment is like, oh, I just put the tip in. I didn't go all the way in. It's like it's the same shit. It's like you fucking said it. Don't like one little word or wait. We know what the fuck was asked. We know what was answered. Like I don't know. They probably should have fucking just kept their mouth shut. Like with coming back live, like trying to fucking do damage control. Like it just made it worse. They're fucking. It's unbelievable how I don't know, like cocky the word is, or arrogant, or just like I don't know how to describe these fucking people.
I'm gonna jump
Like
in
the
here.
nerve.
Having done crisis communication at enterprise level for a long time, it's one of the worst moves they could have made in this situation. And it's so funny because this is like an attack on them, an attack on their leadership, and they come back with old talking points and old messages and old shit that doesn't it's not really relevant, but they put it out there, and it's probably some lawyer who thinks he's doing reputation management, damage control, and just tone deaf, but makes it so much worse because their best move was to do absolutely nothing, say nothing, let it roll off and be done in a couple days or weeks, and move on. They fucked it up. And the best part is, it's the same kind of mentality probably where they want to, strike. They want to act. The same kind of psychopathic maneuvers that drive them to do this shit with stocks. It's the same reason they probably wanted to take action instead of just sitting on the sidelines, letting it ride out.
I mean, well, yeah, you're absolutely right, Brian. Like, out of all days, out of all fucking days, to come on Twitter and be like, no, we never had communication with these people. Like,
Yeah. You want an even better one? Here's something funny. This day is 7 months, 4 weeks, and 1 day since they last tweeted too. All the tinfoil folks coming out.
oh my
we
god.
we had an old saying in the Navy. Just let them think. They may think you're stupid, but keep your mouth shut because if you open it, you confirm it. That's what these people have done. They've confirmed by this tweet. Unbelievable.
Brian, why do you think they're doing it then?
Well, they think they're doing damage control. I mean, they're probably pissed. I mean, that command suite is probably absolutely pissed off as all hell and wanted to do something. And I bet that they fired all their communication people, all their key social media, communicators that actually understand communication. And some lawyer did this at the behest of, their command leadership.
Has anybody tracked that down to see on
What's that?
LinkedIn or anything? Like any of the following, like has anybody confirmed that with the Twitter accounts of Citadel's employees?
Oh no, I haven't personally, but just watching their posts disappear. I mean, they haven't had anything on Instagram, Twitter since back in January. Actually, that's not true. They had one on Instagram not that long ago.
Right, which is what I'm asking is because it seems like any normal person, this would be an incredibly stupid thing to do. And so my question is, why did they do it now? Especially like when you just said it's 741, right? So why now? I mean, it could be just complete idiocy, but knowing everything we've seen over the last 11 months,
Yeah.
it seems like there is something more than what we're currently seeing with regards to why they would suddenly post today.
Well, this is the knee-jerk reaction to something trending on Twitter. You get something like this with your boss's name in it. You want to go back and try and put up some kind of defense toward it as fast as you can. And so this was their way of doing that in the moment and it was the absolute wrong moment to do it and the wrong way to do it. But I'll bet they fired all their social media folks back in January, and all their communication professionals have no idea how to do this, and they just fucked it up because they don't know. No
Well,
one's left.
It's crazy because you saw, like, looking today, you also see that they changed the Ken Griffin lied on Twitter. I still am looking for confirmation, but by all intents and purposes, it looks like that was changed internally at Twitter.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that was. I wonder if Ken Griffin, the words Ken Griffin were trending already because of the way that the text in those posts was written, and Ken Griffin lied, that hashtag was also trending, and that was deleted. And so that only left behind the Ken Griffin posts as trending. So I'm not sure if it was a bait and switch. It may have just been like both were trending simultaneously, and the lied one got deleted.
Well, did you see that? I think it was last week that Twitter settled their lawsuit.
I missed that.
Let me find it. So they agreed to pay $809.5 million to settle their shareholder lawsuit. Looked like it was 7 days ago.
Sorry, who was that? I didn't hear you.
Twitter. So Jack had a shareholder lawsuit filed by I'm trying to find it. Let me see if I can hurry and post it to you guys. Hold on.
So as you look for that, for what it's worth, I logged back into Twitter right now, and I, interestingly enough, do see Ken Griffin lied is trending, but
Well,
it's
it's back.
Yeah, it's back. But specifically for me, at least, it's saying trending in my state that I live in.
So how long do we actually think we can keep this trending for?
Hey, can you remind me where to put these on the space chats?
So that's actually a good thing. I'm glad you said that. So if you guys are sending me things, like you guys have to tweet them out, and then act as if you're going to share them. Like, you push the little box with the arrow thing on the tweet, and then it'll give you an option at the very top to put it in the space. So I can't actually post like links that you guys send me up in the nest, but if you guys tweet it out and then you push the little share button and then put it at the top, click the one at the top that says share within group or whatever space, it'll put it up in the nest for us.
So, Kennedy, your question of how long can this keep going? I don't know if we have the energy to do that at this level, but I think it will be a continuing theme for a long time from here on out. But not as much of a spike as it is right now. But I would love to get my analytics tools and see like where this is going, like what nations, what cities, what demographics, all that stuff, and pull those numbers.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I hope we can keep this going for at least a few days. Like if we could do this for the whole week, that would be amazing.
It's got to be like a joke. It's got to be the way that you phrase things on Twitter. You know, it's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, don't forget, Ken Griffin lied. Like, you just got to work it into every single sentence, every single thing, like a joke that everyone's in on.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, that's what I want to do. I'm going to try to keep doing this. I'm going to keep it going. But I think it was in bad. Whoever pulled the trigger of the tweet thread that they did, idiot move. I mean, if they haven't been paying attention, which they clearly haven't been paying attention to the apes, if they, Annihilation's, threads that he's been having, showing all of the court case, the class action suit that has the evidence and the emails and everything like that, man, you're not paying attention. You're not watching what we're doing and what we're exposing and how we're exposing it. I mean, this is asinine at this point.
Yeah, and that's to my point, is that these are the guys who sit in a boardroom who did something, because they're not the ones on Reddit, they're not the ones on Twitter watching this stuff. They get reports probably on this kind of stuff to them, but they're not the ones watching it. And so their reaction was to do the dumbest thing possible, not realizing it's the dumbest thing possible. Just completely, the tone deafness of it is just incredible.
Oh yeah, I mean that's exactly what it is tone. It is just completely tone deaf. That's exactly it, because they are so out of touch with what is going on. I don't know if they're just full on like on life support at this point, doing what they can, but you picked the absolute worst effing day to tweet something out, because it's, you have, God, what is it? We're going on 10 months now. 10 months of the 99% just researching and diving and digging and everything else into what you've been doing. I mean, we have drones flying up by your freaking building. Are you oblivious to that's on the internet? We see what you're doing with your computers. We see that you're, oh, well, they're getting ready to move to New York. That building's not ready until November. What you doing with your computers? Come on. Like, and you just to have shredding trucks out in front of your building here and there, whatever. Like,
that's not uncommon. That's not uncommon for a big business.
Oh, I know, but I mean, it was the day. I think it was the day that they did it. It was right after
the timing.
Yeah, the timing was just very like sus, and I was going, okay, this might be tinfoily, but this is a little bit. There's no such thing as a coincidence at this point. Like, you just get audited and schooled by the Senate committee, and now you have shredding companies coming to your building. I
wouldn't be surprised the new building has drone defenses on it.
I do wonder, do we have anybody in New York getting ready to pick up the slack on the drone footage at nighttime?
Yeah, watch out for nets and lasers.
Oh gosh, right? That's terrible. That's terrible that we didn't even have to think about that. And also
I've seen the drones that catch other drones.
Well,
like predator hawks.
Make sure you're following local laws too for drones, because those are the thing too. Make sure you look into the FAA laws and regulations and the areas you're flying. I don't want anybody to get in trouble for that. But no, it's just laughable.
That was one of our worries when the first guy did the drone. Oh, geez, was that back in March?
Oh yeah, well,
maybe April.
It was March or April, but what was worrying to me, because Hambone is a licensed drone pilot, so he knows every rule and regulation that there is, and at that point, you had to have a waiver to fly at night. In city limits like Chicago and stuff, you do have to have some kind of permits or permission sometimes, just based because of the city ordinances and whatnot. And so I was like, I don't know who you are, but I hope you're being careful. Like,
I think the best part of that, the follow-up, was the Google Analytics from downtown at 2 a.m. in Chicago of all the drone laws. Like the location-based searches for drone laws.
Yeah, right? And
it cracked me up.
Oh yeah, that was great. Well, and I wonder why we stopped keeping track of busy times. When did that stop? We stopped keeping, like, why are they at the office at 2:00 in the morning?
Oh, they also adjusted their Google stuff, so that Google won't post it anymore.
Yeah, they turned it off.
Did they really?
So people started doing the subway stations close to it and stuff like that. But alternative metrics.
That's too funny. Hey Carter, what's going on?
Hey, so I actually looked into this, and in New York, the other Citadel building, in New York, there's only 2 no-fly zones in New York City, and it's the Bronx and Manhattan. And Citadel's building is in the heart of Manhattan. Just wanted to put that out there.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Okay, we need to figure out buildings across the street.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's other high rises that you can get a telescope into, I'm sure.
Did anybody ever find a contact in Austin to check on the terminal?
Oh, no, not that I'm aware of. Can Kenny get an office above the legal height of drones? So, that's 400 feet. That you can fly up to 400 feet legally. So, I mean, there's a few. I don't know about Manhattan. Anyone know how tall the skyscrapers are in Manhattan?
Very, very tall.
Are they? I've never been, so it's on my to-do list. But so yes, he could. But if he's in the middle of Manhattan, he can't. No one can fly drones. Damn. He beat us on this one, guys.
Life finds a way.
Yeah, I have to say though, it's interesting. We've seen a lot of huge things these past couple days. Like a lot of big accounts coming out, right? RC drops a tweet. We get this trending today. We get Citadel tweeting, which they haven't forever. We got Vlad that just tweeted. That hasn't happened in a while. Trimbath, Lauer. I don't know. It just goes on and on and on. Like it feels like something pretty big could be about to go down. And let's not forget tomorrow. No more trading zombie stocks.
Oh, yeah.
That
Wait,
happens.
can we talk about that for a sec? Hey, Carter, you got a lot of background noise.
Sorry.
No worries. Can we talk about Lehman Brothers? What? Why was that one a thing? Anyone see that?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, Lehman Brothers had a spike
So
today.
Did Lehman Brothers
I
spike?
think they're like owned by the government in some type of way. Like, someone was talking about it a few weeks ago, but I don't remember exactly. It's like once they pay back their like bailout or their debt obligation to the government, then I guess they can go back to being them or some shit. And apparently, they made enough money fast enough to pay back that debt obligation or the bailout back to the government, but they don't want to let them off the hook because they didn't realize that they were going to make that much money that fast. So it's some shit like that.
I thought it was in comparison to Evergrande and Lehman, how similar they were.
Wait, I thought Lehman didn't get a bailout.
They got like I'll try to find it.
They got bought out, or they got sold off in tranches.
Yeah, I was gonna say they didn't get bailed out because that's why they fell. They had to pick between AIG and Lehman Brothers, and Lehman Brothers they picked AIG because of how intertwined they were at the time. But yeah, what?
And did those posts go through?
Posts go through. Yes, they did.
Okay, cool. One of the things I was going to say about AIG and Lehman was that if you watch the Bernanke interview from 60 Minutes back in, I think, in 2010, he talks about AIG being the one that he really regrets. I don't know what more to make of it other than he was pissed that AIG basically survived that scenario. I mean, Bernanke's not he's got his own skeletons in this whole thing. But it's interesting that he was pissed about AIG getting out of their responsibility.
Well, it kind of makes sense with the CDOs. I mean, these are collateralized debt obligations based on insurance products, and they're the insurer. So, I mean, they're at the heart of a lot of this stuff.
I mean, have we heard anything else about Evergrande? I haven't been able to keep up with it today. What's going on with them? Like, have they fallen, or are they still trying to hang on for dear life?
They're up and down. They're up a little bit today. The big thing, though, is that they paid off their domestic bond that was due, I think, late last week, but they failed to deliver on their U.S.-based bonds. So if they can't pay that within 30 days, they will begin to go into default, and then things really start to implode.
Didn't like the Royal Bank of Canada like buy more into Evergrande and other people are fucking jumping ship.
Not sure on those numbers.
I can try to reach out to Boss or something and try to get that information because I know he's been the one tracking a lot of it lately.
But the entire
Surprisingly
enterprise
quiet
is-
for Jim Cramer. I mean, I haven't heard from him today. And is he all right? Is he sick?
It's actually a very good question. I haven't heard much about him lately. I mean, after that couple rage tweets that he had in the last week or so, he's been kind of quiet. I don't know. I'm curious. I am curious what he said, that something about like he doesn't know Citadel or something like that. Like, does anybody have clarification on what he meant by that?
He always says that. He always says that, and it's the weirdest thing because he talks about them in interviews on the street. He talks about them here and there, and then when it comes time for something like this, he's like, "I have no idea what Citadel is. I don't know what you're talking about." It's like bullshit, man. 30 years you've been talking about this guy.
Absolutely.
You guys know that Kramer's wife works for the real estate agent that Kenny has bought all of his real estate from?
I did not know that. That's funny. See, they're all intertwined. They all it makes me sick.
In fact, I think she had one of the record sales for New York, like in New Jersey. I'll try and find that. But yeah, I'm still working on that connection. But if you guys wanted to run with it, Kramer's wife works for the real estate agent that Kenny buys his real estate from.
I want to say that his wife or ex-wife works for like News Corp or something too.
Nothing would
Like something.
surprise me.
There's some weird connections.
Absolute, what do you got for us? Absolute, are you there?
Hey guys, relative to drone flying in New York City, you guys there?
Yeah. Hey, Katie. So someone said, GS, no registered drones. I guess is something a way to work.
I think they just recently passed a ban, and just so you guys know, so nobody gets in trouble. I'm a former pilot, Air Force pilot. I think they just passed. I just sent it to you. No drone flying anywhere in New York City. Just look at the local rules. I'm not saying I'm not the gospel on it. I don't live there anymore. I left there many years ago. But I think there's a rule, no drone flying in New York City. So just so no one gets in trouble, just check the rules first. Make sure you're squared away before you do it.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for clarifying that.
The little 30-footer Walmart things are fine, but anything above that, you got to get squared away. So there you go. I'm out.
Yeah, anything over half a pound.
Thanks, Katie. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys, always, we don't want them to be able to come after us for anything, right? Like, don't break any rules, don't break any laws. Just be safe whenever you're doing stuff. I always love to see footage, but don't ever put yourself at risk of being put in jail or fined or anything, because we want to play by the rules, right? Like, that's why we don't like what they're doing. They're not playing by the rules and they're getting away with it, so we won't be able to get away with it. Just know that. They don't like us, and that's unfortunate. I think we're a nice bunch. We like memes and we laugh and we make funny videos, so I mean, I don't know why they don't like us, but whatever. I mean, I guess we can accept that. But yeah, definitely keep those in terms. I know, like, down here in Florida, and I'm sure it's a lot of other places, like, we can't launch drones from, county-owned places around Florida, or, different private properties. We can't launch drones. So just definitely look into the rules for it.
Hey, that real estate group's name is Koran Group Real Estate. It's spelled with a C. I'll send it to you.
We'll tweet that out. Thank you for that. Yes, this episode of BullHouse is lit. Thank you. Yeah, no, this is, I mean, we can do more like these. I don't mind. If you guys don't, we can do less DD ones, because, I'm frig. We kind of know what's going on. I think anyone that's been listening to BullHouse, we were about 6 months ahead of the curve, maybe even 9 months ahead of the curve of what's going on economically. And that's what I try to stay at, just so that we can kind of stay ahead of the game. So today, days like today where they're fun and just hype filled. Like I'm hyped. Like you guys were saying, we had Citadel tweet out, we've had Vlad tweet out, we've had Dave Lauer and Trimbath, like all these bigger names in this industry are tweeting out. That has to mean something. That has to mean something is there, and you just kind of feel the different energy in the air at this point. Like I think it was Dr. Trillian's last night. He said something about just feeling a different energy, and he was right. Like I felt it yesterday, but today is just tides are turning. I think that there is something along the horizon.
Yeah, definitely. It feels like a turning point for sure. One other thing, like this isn't too big on the hype stuff, but Johnny Rocket brought it up in the YouTube, and I was actually going to talk about it as well. Did you see that? 2 of the regional Fed presidents stepped down today around the trading allegations. Like one kind of referenced being distracted by it, right, and the other one said it was for health reasons, but. Right as JPow's starting this probe, ahead of the, appointment for, his position, you've got these guys step down, like amid all these trading allegations.
Both of them with golden parachutes too,
Of course.
Yeah, actually, someone in, I saw that in YouTube's chat somewhere. Someone said something about the golden parachutes. I'm sorry. Yeah, there it is. Johnny Rocket actually just mentioned that. Yes. Had talked about the golden parachute handed out. Yeah, no, I mean, it comes along with the same lines. Like, nobody in government should be trading. No one should have any kind of ability to trade in the market because they're going to know information before the general public does, right? Like, I mean, hell, they can pass legislation that affects the stock market. They can manipulate it to their benefit, and it's so screwed up. Like, if we're talking insider trading, that is the epitome of all insider trading is, oh, hey, we're about to pass this legislation that affects XYZ. We should probably get out or get into this and this, or these inverses, right? Can't stop. What's up?
So it's not only that, right? I was reading it today too, and it made perfect fucking sense. It's like a broker or somebody had to execute that trade for them, right? So it's not only these motherfuckers that are doing insider trading. It's like if I was their broker, right? Executing trades for fucking politicians or Fed, especially Fed presidents, I'm fucking following that trade because they're not going to be putting their money into bullshit. They know something's up and they're going to fucking bank. So I'm going all in on whatever they're going in on. You know what I mean? So it's.
He can't stop. Can I clarify one thing with you?
Yeah.
Let's not give motherfuckers a bad name by equating them with these guys.
Sorry about that.
I mean, I'd appreciate it. I think everybody else would.
So then, what do we call them?
Kenny G's.
Oops. Kenny G's. We're just gonna title everybody that. That's okay.
Malfeasance.
I don't have.
Have you guys seen Fargo, the movie?
Yeah.
With when Francis McDormand says malfeasance, and if you look up the definition of malfeasance, it involves government employees. It's a pretty good definition of what's going on with the government.
That's just malfeasance for malfeasance sake. Oh, that's an Office reference. Okay.
Try saying that a few times fast. Hap, did you have something that you wanted to add?
Yeah, I'm new, so I'm just kind of like checking out these spaces. They're all pretty cool. So you probably haven't seen me in here before. I've seen this podcast before, the BullHouse.
Oh, well, I mean, you were more
I'm just glad to be a part of, this evolution or revolution. I don't know. I think it's evolution. But
it's the evolving revolution. That's what we're gonna go with that. I love it. But no, I'm happy you're here. I love that people are getting into more spaces and, talking more freely. I think that's what needs to happen, because it's awesome to hear everybody. And Ghost, thank you for the $10 super chat. We won't be stopped. Speak your voice. Use whatever platform you have. Every voice matters. 100%. 100% could not agree more. That is exactly what we're trying to do, right? We raise every voice that needs to be heard. And like I told my mom today, we are fighting for '08. We're fighting for the people that lost everything in '08 and 10 and 12, because those years were rough, right? Those years were some of the hardest that I think I've ever seen. I mean, I'm only 31, so I can't speak on much, but I speak as a millennial. We've gone through, 4 or 5 different recessions in our life. Come on. And then they're sitting there like, oh, well, the millennials aren't buying houses. They're not having families. They're not doing any. Well, we can't afford it. We can't afford it. Like, it's ridiculous at this point. So, no, it's a revolution, but it's also the evolution of society. 100%. Cousin, what's going on?
Hello, how are you doing?
Well, I'm a little deaf now, but I'm good.
Sorry about that.
No.
Hello, how are you doing? Good morning.
Coming in hot.
Coming in hot. How did you take today? Was today good for you?
I don't know how to come in any other way other than hot. That's how I always seem to come in. I seem to come in hot all the time, frequently. I'm sorry, what was your question, Miss Kenna? How did I do today with what?
How did you perceive today's information with Ken Griffin lying on Twitter? Twice, actually.
I mean, I thought it was absolutely amazing to watch Citadel try to defend themselves on Twitter. That was the most amazing thing ever, and I'm super bullish, and I think everybody should be. That's incredible. They haven't tweeted since January, and they come out to defend themselves, and after they censored Twitter all day. It's hilarious.
Well, and I just saw recently, so within the past hour, Melissa Lee retweeted them. I mean, they're, and I just saw Sharkbait tweet something, which I agree with him. It's like, look, I mean, these tweets aren't for us, guys. Like, they know we don't believe it. They're just trying to calm their clients down, and the mainstream people that are just seeing it. And I was kind of thinking about that earlier. It's like, a lot of the things that we've been talking about for a while, like, they're really prominent on Reddit. But it's probably easy for these guys to just write off Reddit and say, okay, well, it's all anonymous, and they're just, I mean, who reads that anyway, right? But if you get number one trending on Twitter, it's like people see that, right? And so now they're coming out en masse trying to do damage control. You got mainstream media retweeting them just to try to, for the people that don't know about it, that are seeing it potentially for the first time, they're trying to control the narrative.
I actually didn't think about that. Them trying to calm their clients, right? Because, okay, so if you think about it, most of their clients are, they're not watching the meme stocks. And if they are, they think we're complete retards at this point. Because they're like, what are these dum-dums doing? Sorry for the
Am I not?
non-political correctness there. Whatever. We call each other that. It's fine. But that's
Wall Street bet definitions only.
Okay, that works. Yeah, no, but that's what they do. They do think we are dumb money, and I loved, seeing people be like, this is what you get for messing with quote unquote dumb money, because what else do we do at this point? I mean, they messed with people that have nothing else left to lose. And so, yeah, we FOMO'd into pretty much a guaranteed play. Now, we don't know when it's going to pop, but looking at data, looking at information, and then just diving even deeper in, it's going to pop, and it's just a matter of time. And, we only lose we don't even lose anything. The only thing we've put in is, into the stocks. Unless you're playing options, that's a whole nother ball game. But for the most part, everyone's just buying stocks and holding the stocks.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, Hef, what's going on?
quick question. All right. The majority of my purchases were in the past, and now all this lit exchange information is coming to light. No pun intended, but how do I tell my broker that everything that I've funneled already to transfer it to a lit exchange? Do I have to call them and do that? Or that's what I'm asking. Because like if we would have known that back in February about dark pools, a lot of us would have transferred, our money in a different way. So, anybody got any insight on that?
Yeah, I don't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, it depends on your broker. Like, I mean, there's some brokers that have like directed trade functions where you can send things to particular exchanges. Some of them like allow trading on IEX, which is always going to be going through a lit exchange. Um, I know like on certain ones, like you can route directly to NYSE, but if you do that, it's got to be like in 100 share lots because otherwise it's the way what they call an odd lot, and you're not allowed to directly route to NYSE.
Well, what about purchases I've already made? That's my question.
I don't think you can do that with purchases you've already made because the order's already been executed. So those shares are already settled in your account. It's for any time in the present or in the future that if you do decide to buy any more, it would be something for that
Only
reason.
every day I got a problem.
But it doesn't. Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't make it any less legitimate though, right? Like, I mean, a print's a print. Like, if you bought the shares, you bought the shares. Like, it may have gone through, a dark pool, but I mean, even though it, may not show up immediately, on the ticker. I mean, it still applies like the same amount of pressure, like in the long term, because of the position you've taken. I mean, the dark pool stuff, it gets really complex, and I'm not an expert on it by any means, but it's certainly your shares aren't any less good or anything like that because they were sent through a dark pool. It may just not have you know immediately hit the price action on that particular day.
Yeah, your shares are the shares you already bought are there. They're legit. You paid your money.
Yeah,
You
it's
got
already settled, right? So there's
yeah.
nothing I can do about it.
It's something for in the future if you do plan on buying some more in the future. That's when it would in regards to the question that you're asking. That's where it could make a difference if you wanted to send it to the lit exchange or whatever. But it wouldn't make a difference. I don't think. From what I know, I'm no expert either. But what I understand, like transferring brokers I mean, you can't really send shares you already have to a lit exchange unless you're selling them. But I don't think that's what you're asking.
No. And I knew I couldn't like transfer them to it, but what I'm saying is the shares that I've already bought, there's no way that I could change the way that they were routed already. They've already been settled. So you guys answered
No,
that question for me.
no, yeah,
Thank you very much.
no, it doesn't. But yeah, but I mean, the entitlement's the same as any other share that's held at a broker. So yeah.
If the shares can't end up eventually being located, it just becomes an IOU. But one of the funny things is with a lot of people are seeing their transfers to computer share from TDA being out 2 to 3 weeks now, or what reps have been saying today. And so, I mean, the fact that they can't locate shares, like, yeah, even if they're settled in a cash account with TDA, then they're having issues locating the shares to be able to transfer. This is exactly what was happening with Burry. Like if back in 2008, where they weren't able, they weren't able to locate his no with his recall last year at GME. Sorry, but they had trouble locating his shares, and that's an issue now. So yeah, you can have them settled in a cash account, but it's not one-to-one registered with the shares that are on their books. So even with it goes for Fidelity, and I'm on Fidelity, but basically if it's settled, it becomes an IOU if it's not DRS'd. And now we're seeing the issues with finding shares to be able to be sent to the computer share. So it's going to be pretty interesting what happens the next few weeks.
I got kind of switching a little subject. So I put something up there in the top. Read it on. I think it was on Reddit. I was wondering if what you guys thought about it. The whole 741 and the whole Ryan Cohen tweets. I just found it pretty interesting. It's a little tinfoil hat, but I don't know, maybe not so tinfoil hat.
I mean, if you want to break it down for us, I have it pulled up right now, but if you want to go into it, definitely. Let's talk about it.
All right, so basically says many apes are speculating that Ryan Cohen posting multiple previous tweets at 7:41 p.m. and that he posted 7 tweets in July, 4 tweets in August meant that he would only post 1 tweet this month. This is the first, he posted a tweet last night, I believe. This is the first one in September. I'm not sure what the 741 will represent at the end of the day, but it's a little pattern we've been following. Maybe 7 in July, 4 in August, 1 in September. Big announcement, MOAS in October. He also was following 7 accounts on Twitter, then only 4, now only 1. So some apes believe it refers to the NFT dividend as sourced by section 741, which I believe specifically talks about the liquidation of stockbrokers. And there's another one also that references the ERC, the whole Ethereum, the regular Ethereum, and then the ERC 721 plus ERC 20, which is, I think, the regular Ethereum. So 721 plus 20 is 741. But still something to play with.
This is kind of offbeat and kind of crazy, but we mentioned Jim Cramer's name and he just tweeted.
Okay,
Oh,
who's the
you're
mole?
kidding.
Who's the mole? No, I don't know. Like, isn't this? Someone said that this would be the longest version of the 741 given the months, right? Like the fact that he was only following one person. So who knows? Like this month is just getting crazier and crazier by the day. But the fact that Jim Cramer just tweeted. Well, at least we know
it was an hour ago, and it was nothing to do with us. It was something about the Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys. So,
Well, it could be a double entendre.
Could be.
He said, dare I say we have the Cowboys where we want them?
Yeah, that's kind of cryptic, eh?
Are we the Cowboys?
I don't know. Maybe we could be in that interpretation. Anyway, I wouldn't give a whole lot of stock to what he says anyway. That is just funny that he tweeted, though.
You mentioned somebody's name, and 5 minutes later,
Yep, as they say, speak the devil, he shall appear, right? No, I mean, we've been live for an hour now. I mean, I know it was less than an hour that we mentioned him, but that is just really funny. But no, I look forward to this week. Like this, if this are,
it's going so.
Yeah, if there's ever a reason to be bullish for this week, it'd be today, right? I mean, that's a hell of a way to start the week.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much going on. And even, Friday's the 1st, and I believe that is when the banks are supposed to have these increased collateral requirements, right, to put up against their securities. And also, from what I understand, like the reverse repo stuff is not supposed to count towards that minimum, collateral that they're required to hold. So, I mean, there's a lot happening this week in the background, and I mean that's what I found interesting. I mean, there's a lot of hype stuff, right? There's a lot of people talking. We've got the Kenny stuff, the Vlad stuff. We have the lawsuit that came out. I mean, there's a lot of shiny things out there, but there's a lot of technical stuff going on in the background too. So it makes for a very interesting week. And potentially month.
Oh yeah, October I think is going to be interesting because we have to remember September is notoriously a down bad month for the stock market, and we saw that. But yeah, this coming up October is going to be interesting. I mean, trick or treat, right? Maybe it would be great if MOAS happens on Halloween. Wait, no, Halloween's on the weekend. The week before Halloween. I mean, that's what we should do. Start, getting like MOAS trick or treat trending that sometime during that week for sure.
Who doesn't want to be WSB Chad on Halloween? Like, I mean, if I go out for Halloween, that's definitely my costume. WSB Chad with diamond hands.
You know what I like what I really like about today and really miss, like, the community's been like bickering and like fighting about all kinds of shit and just like, frustration and a million other things going on. Like today seemed like everybody kind of forgot about all that shit and really came together over fucking Ken Griffin lying and shit, which was pretty good. It was like how it was months ago.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. We got the feel of January and February. Let's see, GS, which one of you's Kramer? Johnny Rocket. Jim has done a lot of booger sugar in his time. Oh, I'm sure. Ghost. Oh, you weren't nice on Kramer's tweet. Watch it. He'll block you. He'll block you. He already. I think he blocked Lady. I believe. Maybe not. I could be misspeaking. I know I've seen a few of you guys blocked by him, which has been kind of funny. D, thank you for the $5 super sticker with the pear that's laughing. That's so funny. I love the pear. It's cute. And you also asked who did the DD on that. It was Pack. Posted that. I'm guessing on Super Stocks. Is that where that was? Can't Stop.
Sorry, which one was that? Sorry.
The one with the 741 DD.
That was from Conway, actually.
Oh, was it Wait.
I don't know if he pulled it off of somewhere, but it was Conway's tweet.
Oh, yeah, it says Pack did the 741 confirm. That's who wrote it. I don't know if that's from...
Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about the other one. Yeah, that was from Super Stonk.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So there's that. I'm Jim Kramer's alt account. Tampa Kurt, you're ridiculous. gotta take you off the team now. Jeez. But no, I am definitely I love the feel today. Like it really was like going back to like January, February, even March, like just, apes being apes and banding together and just doing silly things all day long. It was such a good day, and it was very fun to get on Twitter today and see everything. So yeah, that's where
it's so hard to sift through all the bullshit though to get the camaraderie that we got here. It took a long time. This space has developed when it needed to develop, I guess.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it's taken a lot, and then that's where we have to just ignore the divide and conquer strats that they've been trying to do, right? Like they just have to, we just have to stick together, keep making memes. Like, I'm sorry that I haven't got my video out. I haven't had time to work on it, of my grasshoppers, but I'm gonna try to get that done tonight, as it's funny. It's the off of A Bug's Life, the grasshopper scene where he's like, does this one little ant hurt, or this one grain hurt, and he throws it at him and he's like no, and he's like how about this one, and he's like no, and then he just like releases all of them and kills 3 grasshoppers just in the act of that. Like that's the scene I'm working on, is kind of like a little meme clip.
Yeah, military used to call it one shit wipes out 10 attaboys.
I've never heard that. That's great. Dave Nut Ninja, I'm not gonna ignore you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. You guys are so amazing. I'm so speechless tonight. I really am. I thank you guys. I Citadel blocked. Yes, today was awesome, goofy fun. Yes, it was.
Hey, so speaking of this week, all the there's a few rules that getting passed, and then on the 30th, you got the eviction moratorium. The thing I posted up top is from Charlie. Just, it's not mine, Charlie's vids. But you got the eviction moratorium on the 30th. Fiscal year ends for the federal government. Government funding runs out. The debt ceiling, they blocked the debt. To raise the debt ceiling thing didn't fucking pass today, and it's like a no go on the the infrastructure bill. Like, some Democrats are not going to do it unless it's the full thing, and then the Republicans are like, we're not fucking going to do it. Whatever, they're bickering and bitching. Like, it's like nothing's going to happen. None of the infrastructure bills, not the other bill or the debt ceiling shit. And then you got
We
mortgage forbearance.
keep it simple. This ain't about business.
Oh yeah.
Let's leave the politics out of it. This is business.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
Sorry. It's like, what I'm saying is, like, when people start interjecting politics, and it starts going Republican, Democrat, it starts into division. The main concept, what we're trying to do here is squeeze the shit out of the short.
So I understand that and I respect that. I'm not taking one side. Like, I'm not trying to make it a political thing. I'm not saying Democrat one thing, Republican one thing. I'm just saying that's what's happening right now. Like, what they're discussing. Like, they're both bickering. Like, they're playing a game of chicken. We never get I don't get political on here. We haven't one time since I've been on the BullHouse. So, I mean,
And if I could also interject just to clarify something that may or may not have been said, but I just want to be explicitly clear that I don't think anyone on this space is looking to collude to initiate a short squeeze. Doing so would be illegal. I think we're just discussing theoretical ways in which a potential short squeeze might get triggered with GameStop and or other securities.
I'm not a financial advisor.
You guys are so silly. Yeah, no, we.
All right. So back to the little calendar thing. On the 30th, we got the mortgage forbearance ends. The short interest report settlement date is on the 30th, and then the next day or 31st, I thought. Oh, on October 1st, the banks are required to, I believe, hold the 1 trillion and what was it, like, really good liquid assets or some shit. Like, I forgot what the term was that they used, but they got to have 1 trillion of it, and then the fiscal year ends. Fiscal year starts for the federal government. You got GME CFO grant date. I gotta ask them what that's about, and then that's the last day of Q3. So a lot of books balancing and all that crap. The day before, you got the short interest report. It's a lot of shit going on in October.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I have to touch on what you were saying. So we do talk politics, but we never take sides on anything because when it comes to what's going on in the economy, we have to kind of see what's going on with the Congress and what they're passing, bills that they're passing or not passing.
I didn't mean to ruffle any feathers.
No, you're fine.
No feathers, please.
No, you're fine. No. For anybody that's listening, that's not ever been in here, yeah, BullHouse, we touch on it all, and that's why I guess I've actually had to save my rules recently, which is phenomenal. That's why I love being able to host these spaces and kind of just get this kind of information out. We talk about it all. We've touched on religion, which is kind of fun. Politics, we talk, and finances, anything that's technically supposed to be taboo that they tell you never to talk about in public because it's not proper or whatever. We talk about it because at the end of the day, with how I run these, is if you wouldn't say it to somebody to their face because they're probably going to punch you, you just don't say it, right? Like, we keep it adult, we keep it very civil. But in the terms of, what Can't Stop was saying, when it comes to these bills, they are being children. Like, these guys are freaking. Speaking of, I saw a YouTube video, I think it was from C-SPAN, that they were pulling up memes. Like, they printed out like 4 feet by 3 feet bulletin boards of memes, and they're trying to compare things with that, and I'm like, okay, really? This is okay.
Are you serious?
I will find it and I will tweet these videos out because you guys are gonna start laughing your asses off. Like, it is so stupid. But yeah, the fact that we still haven't figured out our debt ceiling, that's dangerous because our treasury is running out of money. Actually, I'm pretty sure we probably will run out of money by tomorrow. Has anyone actually seen how much we spent today?
I think they got like somehow got up to 200 billion the other day when we, you know how they spent like a third of it or some shit on Thursday or Friday. I don't know how, but they got back up to like 200 billion from 173 or something, but by like the end of the week, it should be fucking dried up. Like they were talking, I think government might shut down in like 2 days or something.
Well, I mean, it's just one of those things, though. I mean, this seems to happen every few years, right? And there's always a lot of posturing over it because, like, I don't know, it's political posturing. Like they're trying to put, each side tries to put extra things in the bill, which the other side isn't going to agree with, and so they're going to go back and forth about it, and then the government will, quote, shut down for a little while, and maybe the non-essential workers get furloughed for a little while, so they basically get paid vacation until they come back and they get their back pay. They pass the bill because if they don't, then it'll essentially be anarchy, and that's how this story goes. I think we've all seen that happen a few times already.
Alistair, you have a lot more faith in our government than I do. Sorry.
I agree. I agree with him. Like, I mean, in the past, that's usually what happens, right? But like the one thing that I feel different about is like, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but I just feel like this time it's different. I'm pretty sure people have felt that way before, but it's just so much different shit that's going on in this little amount of time, and it's all kind of happening at the same time. Like all the, unemployment shit running out, the mortgage forbearance, the COVID shit, like just debt ceiling, fucking 2 bills, trillions of dollars trying to get paid, just like all this fucking shit, and then you got midterms or some type of fucking elections coming up. Everyone, like you said, they're trying to stand their ground and get political points and all that bullshit. I just think it's going to be a little crazier this time.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I hope they figure it out because, like, the idea that the treasury, I don't think we've ever run into where there's a potential for the treasury to run out of money. I don't remember ever seeing these kinds of headlines where that was actually a possibility. Like, I remember the last time whenever they basically kicked the can. Speaking of, did anybody see that retweet that I did from Hambone where it was like they renamed the bill "Kick the Can" or some shit?
Yep, I saw that.
I mean, that's just sad. They know what they're doing, and so I don't know. It's a very odd situations we're in at the moment, but I hope they figure it out because, like, I mean, we have people potentially becoming homeless with the mortgage and rent forbearances, and people without unemployment now. October is going to be interesting, and this is kind of what I touched on yesterday, right? Like, there's maybe 15 million of us invested in meme stocks. There's 7.9 billion people, and that's global. That's not just in the United States. That's global investors, probably 15 million roughly, invested. And so, and there's 7.9 billion people in the world. That's a lot of people that don't know what's going on or don't care to know what's going on. So yeah, to me, at least in my own moral compass here, like, I have it in my mind that I got to help people. I got to get the word out as much as possible. And so, because people aren't paying attention, like, my sister's a good for instance. She doesn't watch the news. She gets her news from me. And like, if I tell her something's going on or whatever, like, I try to keep her up to date as much as possible, but she doesn't watch the news that much. She doesn't try to stay up on it because it is a lot and it can get very depressing very quickly, if you pay attention to it like we do. So, I take her as kind of the average person where they go through their life, they're aware of certain things, but at the end of the day, if it's not affecting life at that moment for them, they're not going to pay attention to it 100%. Just my take on it. Let's see. Nene, I saw you come up, and then AU, I'll get to you.
Okay, so hi guys. Hi Kenya. Good night, everyone. So this is not a tinfoil hat theory, but it's just a theory. I was pulled into a conversation last week Friday. I'm a New York City teacher, and the conversation was with a few teachers. So there's two teachers in my school that did not get vaccinated, and I don't know if you guys touched on the vaccine and stuff. I'm not trying to be political or anything. But it's just a question that I want. It's just a theory that I want, like, I guess, people to add to it or help me with it. So, or just let me have an understanding because I'm just curious. So I think one of them is a QAnon. I don't know if I ever say that word correctly, but she is a conspiracy theorist. So she says a bunch of stuff. I did get her invested in AMC, and she's very much involved. So all aside from religion or politics, I'm just gonna say that she brought up an interesting point. So we were a lot of teachers are gonna get terminated tonight at 12 o'clock who did not get vaccinated. So and these are teachers that are professional teachers. They're really good at their job. Whatever, they're gonna get terminated because they refuse to take the vaccination, as well as some school aides and some of our chefs. So the point I'm getting at is, I'm sorry, I get nervous. There's a lot of people on here. The point I'm bringing on is the fact that how they did not get the vaccination, and they're forcing, like they're saying that teachers have to come to school, we have to get vaccinated, and now the kids, because I teach elementary school, so these are kids that are not vaccinated yet. So she brought up a theory that they just want all of the kids to get maybe eventually sick, spread it in their communities, and then the cycle keeps going on and on and on, where people keep getting sick because the kids really don't have such a huge reaction or any adverse like side effects that really makes any of them like life threatening. There's kids that pass and whatnot. However, the numbers are not there as much as with the adults. So she brought up that theory, and then it kind of stuck in my head. Like I don't believe in any of that. I mean, my theories are my own, but that one stuck with me. Like it's like it's a cycle. And I was in a previous chat where they were talking about how McDonald's is changing from $18 to $20, and it'll probably go on and on and on because people don't want to work. They want to collect welfare or unemployment because it's cheaper than getting a job, traveling to work, buying food, blah blah blah, and then having to pay for rent and bills. It's cheaper just to collect unemployment. So I'm thinking that if they keep doing this and then they keep pushing us to do remote teaching, which is it cuts off the cost of all of the school buildings and everything, it's cost effective because they're forcing us. And mind you, in 2020, when we went into remote, we didn't get reimbursed for anything. We had to use everything from home, Wi-Fi. We had the DOE computers, but everything was like our resources, and we weren't reimbursed. And I don't have anything against that because I love my job. There are teachers that were against it. I selected to be remote teach not remote. I'm an in-person teacher. I wanted to be in the school building. That's where true learning begins. And to know that if they force this upon us, like they turn everything into computers, they turn everything into technology, there's so much jobs. It's like a cycle that they were trying to put us in. But then we discovered, Reddit, and then Reddit into Twitter and Ape Nation /GME /AMC, crypto, whatever. What I'm trying to say is we became woke. So MOAS is something that we've never seen. I'm hearing so much DV, I'm hearing so much things, and I want to keep listening. But it's like I haven't heard or seen yet. None of us has ever seen the massive shockwaves that this is going to send through. And I can't wait. And I'm glad to be here with everyone. So my question is asking you, like, what do you guys think about that? I don't know if I was confusing in what I said. Sorry, Kenya. Sorry, Kenya. I was going on and on.
What's going on, party animals?
Hey, Twisted. Actually, I'm going to have Cousin, I think he has a comment on what you were talking about real quick.
My first thought is
the COVID vaccine stuff is such a touchy thing for a lot of people. I think the biggest thing they're trying to achieve with that is they're trying to normalize everything. Normalize your forced vaccination, normalize getting sick and grandma dying from COVID and your kid getting sick and bringing it home, but everyone's vaccinated, so you only get kind of sick, and just normalize all that. And I don't know what that means. I haven't thought real deep into it about where the motivation is coming from, other than the same motivation that they have for everything, which is to keep the machine moving. Just keep the machine moving. Keep the workers producing for them, so that they can slowly siphon off our money like they've been doing forever. Um, it's all control. You were talking about politics earlier. There's a book, Manufacturing Dissent. I recommend everyone check it out. But it's obvious what they do. They create both sides of the narrative.
Well, it's called, just to interject, it's called hypernormalization. I think it's like, we're complacent to the big corporations, and our government is complacent, and because they're complacent and we're under their leadership, we're under their leadership, we have to go with whatever laws or whatever things that they enact. So because of us, not really doing our DD, which is something that I think we need more education on, is to really like look into the people that we actually really put into office, because these people are not for us. As much as we want to vote for this person or that person, and I'm not picking no sides here. I'm saying our corruption started from our founding fathers, whether they were a Democrat, a Republican, or whatever, liberal, whatever. It started from our founding fathers. There's no I'm blaming the last president or the president before that. All of this stuff happened before, and because we were so complacent, us being retail investors, us being the 99%, we allowed the rapport of their documents and everything to confuse. We allowed it to confuse us because we
100.
didn't care. We signed the
100%.
bottom at the consent form. We signed the bottom, and we're like, yeah, we agree to the terms and services. We didn't
Yes.
spend time to read it, and I think that's the main thing. And I'm gonna step down because I don't want to take over.
No, don't. You don't need
You're
to step
good.
down. But
It's just that,
to reply to that, first off, there's a lot of names for things that are involving what you and I were describing. Hypernormalization is an excellent one. If you haven't looked up that term and seen what that describes, that's
there's
a
a
very, very
documentary.
I think
There's a documentary behind it. You guys to watch it
right.
on YouTube. It's really nice.
Yeah,
think
I would highly recommend that. But um, go ahead, Twisted. You're trying to hop in, and I kind of lost my train of thought there.
it's all good, bro. Nah, I think that we're all searching for the pieces to the puzzle, but I think that we're working on the wrong puzzle. If that makes any sense.
We're following the money now. Now we know where to look. I think that's what you're trying to get at, because all the time we were lost. We were going in like that rabbit hole, and now we're putting the pieces together and from that rabbit hole. So I feel like if we keep digging and the digging never stops, we're gonna show where the money started, where the money's going, who's exchanging, who's doing what. Because
100%.
like Kenneth said, there's more than everyone keeps saying 4.2 million. I know that there's so many people that I've seen on Twitter. I've been here since November, and I'm not talking about on Twitter. I'm talking about with AMC since November. Okay, I bought it at $1.91, and I've been here, and that was before I knew about the movement. I've seen people gone and come. I've seen people, everything. What I'm trying, and I'm not. Don't make me an expert. I'm just saying.
It's
From
deep.
my
It is deep.
observations.
It is deeper than people know, and I agree with you on that. It's real deep. And I just want to say what I remembered what I was going to say, and I'll say it real quick. I just want to say it because it's important. When you say about our complacency and how we allowed it, it's the programming. We're programmed for the complacency. So don't victim blame yourself. It's not your fault. It's not our fault.
So
It's
I'm
really
not.
it's really important because we there's a shared responsibility. We have to be responsible for our own actions. We need to grow. We need to learn. We need to change. That is true. But there's not a whole lot to be achieved by beating yourself up over it at the same time. And that's really important to not beat yourself up on that. That's all.
Well,
You should
Beautifully
accept your. You
put.
got to accept your role. You got to
Beautifully
accept
put.
your role, but don't hurt yourself on it. We need to move forward. Not.
Beautiful, bro.
Can I just add one thing to
Thank
that?
you.
So, being a New York City teacher, right? I've been in at my school for about 8 years, right? I kid you not, I have not received a brand. I was in third grade. I was in first grade for 2 years, and then six years in third grade. For all those years, I have not received a brand new textbook for both of the grades that I've been in. And because of the socioeconomic status of the community that I'm in and the geography and the environment, we are not getting the funding where my principal has to fight for funding for a third grade teacher or a second grade teacher. For us to fight for funding to educate our students. And then in a different neighborhood, they're given funding right away. And so because
Disgusting.
I'm not, yeah, it's very disgusting. One of my main things from starting this why and to continue with this, because well, at that time he was 2 when I invested. My son just turned 3 in September 9th. He is my why. I want him to have teachers. I want him to have textbooks. I want him to have things that's going to educate him, that he doesn't have to worry about where his next paycheck is going to be, if he's going to be able to do this. I want to set my child up, our child up, that he doesn't have to face what my mom faced when she came to this country in 1987. What I'm trying to say is, when my mom came here, and I always going to share the story, she didn't know who was the president. She didn't know anything. All she knew was that she had to work, she had to pay her bills, and then go forward from there. And she tried to raise. I'm one of 7 kids. So the bad thing is, my mom learned about a lot of things that I learned about from the white American people, the Jewish family that she worked with. Okay, well, they were half white, half Jewish, and a lot of things she learned helped my mom build her credit. But the people in my community, the people from where I was from, I'm Caribbean. Um, they did not know about these things. They didn't know that they can get their kids as credit card holders when they're young, so that they can build up their credit and not worry about, not worry about getting a credit card or a loan, or getting a co-signer when they turn 17 or 18. These are things that we were not brought in front of us. And I want, one of the things as Ape Nation, I think that we all should keep spreading, is the knowledge that we need to be more knowledgeable of what, on where our money and our taxes and our things go. Because if we're I kid you not, I'm a teacher. I make a good amount. Okay, I have a career. It's not a job, it's a career. I went to school, I went to college, everything for that. But I live in a thing where I still worry about, what am I going to pay my bills? What am I going to do this? Am I going to have enough to do all of these things? Am I financially secure? We want to have another child, but because of being scared, and I don't want to be selfish. I mean, I'm one of many, and I'm one of few that think like this. So you have to think about, there are many of us that don't know about these things, and there are many of us that do, and we don't have the means, we don't have the resources that to get, to get up there.
We do
And
now.
we know what we do. We as in the one of the few of the many. It's we're still the 99% of the 1%. We're the 1%, 99% that know
Yeah.
what's going on.
It starts with the first step, though.
Yeah,
The
it
most
does.
important point is we're heading in the right direction. I'm gonna step down the listener though, man. Keep up the good work, guys. Love what you guys are
Sharing.
talking about.
Thanks, Twisted.
Thanks, Twisted. Thanks
Hey,
for coming up, man.
and I did know Can't Stop had his hand up to answer you, Nene. I do want to say real quick, Johnny Rocket, thank you for the $20 super chat. BullHouse rocks 100%. No vegetable talk in here. Hell no, unless we're talking about like Caesar salads, because those are delicious. That's all I'm gonna say. But no, I will say I will hold a space. I'm probably one of very few people that will actually do this. I will hold a space if we do want to discuss COVID DD, because I have been looking into a lot of stuff. I can probably talk through quite a bit. Both sides of the spectrum. I don't go one way or the other. You guys know I'm pretty much a neutral party on a lot of things. I cannot post this on YouTube. There, it is against rules. I will say that much. But I will hold a space sometime, probably in the next few days, if you guys really want to hash this out, try to dig into it if you want to talk, and try to figure out what's going on. Because, I have a different perspective living in Florida than, people that live in New York or California or up in the Midwest. Like, I have a different perspective of things, just like everybody else. And, hell, I want to hear people from Europe. And if we have anyone from Australia, I would love to hear what's going on over there, because I'm seeing YouTube videos and things like that. That's all I'm seeing. So I would love to hear from anybody that's from Australia, if we can find anybody from there. So, but with that said, Yes, Nene, I think it is a very good topic that we do need to start discussing. I wish I could put it on YouTube. I just can't. And that's unfortunate. I will figure out a way
What
to, I can figure out a way to record, I can record it, and maybe put
it
it,
wasn't. It was just the fact that they're turning everything into streaming, into remote, into stuff
yeah,
where they're actually trying to make real life people obsolete. Like they're trying to get rid of us, because if it goes into remote, so one of the talks, just to add, and I'm gonna drop down to listener. One of the talks was they spoke about opening new schools, but here this part, opening the schools where they're gonna have only computers and it's gonna have one teacher for each grade with like 30 kids that if they don't have a place at home to go sit, they can go sit in a school, mind you, and be remote. How is that helpful for society? How is that given, it's I don't know. I can go on and on. I can go on a tangent of how upset I am. But what I'm gonna say is that I'm holding, I'm buying. That's what I'm doing, and I'm waiting for the once in a lifetime opportunity, guys. No ass. That's all I can say.
I hear that one. I hear that one. Note from YouTube says y'all should come down to New Zealand. It's different down here. I feel like I've heard things where we're not welcome in New Zealand. That could be just hearsay, but I've heard some many things where we're not welcome in New Zealand. That's a touchy one. I would love more insight onto that. But we actually tossed that around, my husband and I. We were like, where would be a great place to move if we needed to? Just if because like there's talks of this the volcano that's erupting on the other side of the pond that might cause a massive tsunami. I don't know if everybody's heard about this yet, but everyone knows about the volcano going off, and yeah, no, okay, so I want to say it's around Croatia. Don't quote me on that. I have to really look again. But yeah, there is basically a chance for a massive tsunami to hit the east coast of the States.
It was in Crete.
Crete, thank you.
Right?
Yes, thank you. I was like, wait,
There's an air base right there.
Yes,
It's called Heraklion.
Yes, that
That's
one.
the capital of Crete.
I appreciate that. No, but yeah, so someone has heard of it. Thank you, half. Can't stop. Did you have something that you wanted to add?
I think A. Hunting has had his hand up for a long time. I'll let him go.
I didn't know if it was about what Nene was saying. AU, what's going on?
No, just want to get around back over to this whole government shutdown thing. Back in 2013 when we had the one of the shutdowns, I had the young Jo had to deliver the letters to the civilians that they're going to be laid off indefinitely, and some of the higher paid ones, GS15s, they're fine because they had a little bit of money cash, saved up. I mean, heck, they're 05 equivalents. But the GS9s, 10s, the starter people, they were freaking out because they're living paycheck to paycheck, even though it's a relatively guaranteed paycheck. But they didn't have the ability to save up enough money to cushion that blow to that workforce. And I think when it carried on, I've seen a lot of people get hurt over this whole thing. So that's just something we need to think about. Unless you're deemed essential, even the essential people didn't get their paychecks until after the fact. And yes, they did get a paid vacation, and they got their money back at the end of this thing. But that's just very stressful couple of weeks that they were out of work, worrying about making their payments on their cars or houses and just eating and whatnot. I don't know how it's going to affect the civilians this time around. I mean, I'm talking about the civilians who are not working for the government with this whole pandemic thing, unemployment running out, housing, you name it. We're in uncharted territory. But I digress.
No, you're absolutely right, AU. And so, like, the last major government shutdown under Obama is actually what caused Hambone to lose his job with Rolls-Royce. He had a bunch of government contracts. Like, he was a civilian at the time, but he lost all his contracts, and they basically were like, so this was the option, and I will never forget this. We were living paycheck to paycheck for the most part, because this 2013. Yeah, 2013.
Yeah, it was 2013.
2014. Thank you. I was like, wait, I was trying to visualize
2013.
visualize where I was living at that point. And so, yeah, he lost his contracts and everything, and they were like, so you can either relocate to our office in over in Cincinnati with their partnership with GE, or take the furlough package. And he was like, well, are you going to pay for my relocation and, you know, my lease break and everything else like that? And they're like, nope, that's on you. And we were like, well, that doesn't work. And so, yeah, he ended up getting, you know, a package and everything. But, yeah, no, it's and the fact, you know, with the debt ceiling and anything like that, and then wanting to increase taxes on corporations and everything, you know, I think we'll see a lot more, you know, people losing their jobs and whatnot with the vaccine mandates and everything that Nani was talking about. It's we're in a lot of uncharted territory, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens nationwide, worldwide. Alistair?
So speaking like on a couple of things, so I build elevators, right? I build and install elevators. Like Wednesday last week was like just me. So I have to work. I can't go to on a job site by myself. It's like me and my teammate, me and my mechanic. Neither one of us can work by ourselves. We got to work together. So last week on Wednesday was my last day. We finished the job and haven't gotten any work since. Now the problem is we got tons of, like, my company has a real big company and I'm union. But there's like tons of jobs that we're already got contracts with, but the problem is there's no fucking material. Like, it's impossible to get fucking wiring and all this shit that we need from like China and all this other shit. So it's like, I don't know what the fuck to do now. So yeah, that's one thing. And then another thing is, I was just seeing on the news, like they just fired or a bunch of I don't know if it was doctors and nurses or whatever, and they're bringing in the National Guard to take their place because either they don't want to get vaccinated or some shit, or something crazy. Sorry, it's like two different things, but
The military is also mandating vaccines, and a lot of people are getting out.
yeah, I mean, so so I'm gonna share something. I got vaccinated, right? But I'm against, like, me personally. I know this ain't the place for it. Maybe I'll just wait for another one. But yeah, I'm not wanting to take the booster shot or any of that shit. But talk about it at a different little
Yeah,
space code.
I feel like this is definitely a topic that everyone wants to. I think everyone's kind of dying to talk about it. So, if you guys want, how about this?
Do it.
Not right now. Not right this minute.
No,
So,
not right now, but do it. Like
yeah.
you said, you were
No,
gonna
we're
do
gonna
it
do
in
it.
the future. Do it.
Yeah. So we're gonna do part one tonight. I'm gonna wrap up. We're gonna wrap up. We're gonna wrap up our hype right now, because I'm sorry, I'm still buzzing. Like, I am so buzzed right now from, you know, Ken Griffin and all these hashtags today. Like, I am in such a freaking elated mood right now. But yeah, let's do part one tonight. If everybody's game, if everyone's awake and whatnot and wants to start this conversation off, I'm willing to do it. That's what BullHouse is about. We like transparency, right? God help my Twitter
How
space.
about drachmas, not drama?
What?
I don't know if anybody knows what drachmas are. This is the old Greek coin money, you know?
Oh,
Drachmas, not drama.
no. I
I got
that.
some of those too.
Nobody's getting out of the military due to the COVID vaccine. Yes, I don't know about that one. I know that their Hambone would be a very good one for this one, because he's been tracking that, given the fact that he is a vet. Like, if he hadn't been retired out a couple years ago, he was even like, I would probably be questioning this one. And he's had every shot that the military's ever given him, and he's even like, there's something funny with this. And
I got shots, but that was many years ago.
Yeah.
You stand in line and you go through these boom, 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 with these air guns. You don't know what the hell they're shooting us, but records of it, you know.
Jess, I would love for you to elaborate on what you mean. I would love it. But yeah, let's do it. All right. Final thoughts on today's amazingness about Ken Griffin and whatnot. Any final thoughts on today?
Buy GameStop, not financial advice.
Something's about to go down.
Well, I tried to make your dream come true. I did my tweet up there at the
So I'll
top to
chime in
try
with
to
a
convince you
final
guys.
thought. If no one else is waiting to go. Something I did not hear earlier, but I guess challenging just a little bit some of the comments that were made at the very beginning of the podcast, or of this Twitter space. I think these people, like the Citadels of the world, Robin Hood. I think these people are incredibly smart, but even smart people can make a mistake or slip up here and there. I think the words they are using are definitely very how should I say they're
Specific.
yes, they're very specific. They're chosen very wisely, um, because I think what they miss though is the intent. If there's malicious intent with legal actions, that could still be illegal. Um, what was really something that really stood out to me from the congressional hearing was when Ken Griffin was asked this specific question, whether he spoke with anyone at Robinhood about restricting the trades. What was very just unusual was how quickly Ken jumped to answer that question. If you go back and look at that part of the hearing, it was just very unusual how quickly he answered this specific question. Like he was prepped, obviously, but I think it's just the way the question was phrased. Did you speak? And maybe it was written. Maybe it was some other method or mechanism, but it was very unusual. But
Well,
Wait, let me
yeah.
be clear. Absolutely not. Yeah, but no, I think you're right. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. And I mean, even the tweets that they put out today, I mean, they're very carefully worded. They're technicalities. I mean, it's easy. Like, I don't know. I'm in a business where, like, I mean, you kind of have to have a way with words. I mean, especially like when they're in writing, and I mean, you're careful about what you put in emails. You're careful about like what you document.
Exactly.
In certain ways. And so, yeah, like I think it's a good point. I mean, it's one that I haven't seen brought up a lot, but yeah, I mean, it's clear that he was, more than willing to answer that question where, he danced around just about every other question. So,
Right, and I'm reminded when I was in school, one of my teachers mentioned to me, like in the military, it's illegal for like an officer to send a troop like into battle, or if they're unfit for battle. Um, so they would need to get medically cleared. Well, if they want to send this specific person, out, well, whether it's to battle or just for this specific task, you're going to keep finding a doctor. You're going to keep looking for doctors until you find the one that does medically clear them. If the first one doesn't, go to the second one, third, and eventually you'll find some doctor that will clear them. So exactly, I think it was Hallister that you were saying. Yeah, it's ultimately how they're using the words that they're using, and the intent behind it. But I think there's definitely a lot more to it. And yeah, I think these people, or their lawyers, are incredibly smart. They're being very careful. So even though whether Ken technically lied to the question that was asked, I think the intent of the question is what really needs to be considered. And, hopefully we do get to the bottom of this soon.
Yeah, 100% sure. We need to get to the bottom. Cousin, what's going on?
Just to add to that a little bit. He was obviously reading off of a screen that lawyers were typing, but to your other point, or to the other things you were saying, in my opinion, these people are sociopaths and they're detached from reality. So, they are very intelligent. You have to be intelligent to be a sociopath and even pretend to fit in with real society and normal people, because you're not normal. But it also means that they completely underestimated us. They completely misjudged us, and we've already won. That's just what I think. It's going to take a little while to get there, but we've already won. Um, they have lost. They made a crucial mistake, and the king is in check.
This renormalization. What was the term we were using earlier?
Hypernormalization.
Hypernormalization. Yeah. Is that, first of all, we have to be normal, right? Before we're hyper normalized. But
Well, I'm out already. You've already.
Dryers.
I'm out.
All kind of dryer they're building. We're gonna get hyper normalized.
Yeah, I think we all have to be normal first to actually get to. I'm just kidding. I enjoy being a weird person. I enjoy it. It makes life interesting, right? Can't stop.
Hi.
Can't stop what he got for me. Can't stop. Oh, are you there?
Can't stop, won't stop.
No, he's stopping though. Al, what's going on?
Hey, how are you? So interesting day. So somebody had released some paperwork on the internet on Reddit. There's over 4,000 complaints on Citadel. 4,000 that the SEC is investigating. I think that they know that the only reason they're not prosecuting them is because he's got money, liquidity outside the U.S. And he's going to need it to build his company back up. He's going to go back to what he's doing. They're not going to prosecute him because at the end of the day, this guy services many pensions. He services many people and organizations that require his service, which comes at our expense, no questions asked. I think that we will eventually come to the point where, Ken Griffin's going to be coming back one day. He didn't have clients for a long time because he had made his own money and didn't need clients. He was making money from himself and didn't have to do anything. But now, since he's getting liquidated, he's going to need clients again. And he's going to need his own liquidity. So that's the only reason he hasn't gotten prosecuted, thrown in jail, and Citadel keeps their market maker status. That being said, PYOF is going to get destroyed. I just know that's going to go away. You got Vlad this morning, or just a little while ago, rather, dropping a op-ed piece in New York Times, or the Wall Street Journal, rather, about why he should, we should retain PYOF and this, that, and the other. Robinhood is a sinking ship. I don't think they're going to recover from this. I think they're going to subsequently die out. I think people are eventually going to get hip to the fact that these guys scam people and they're just another brokerage house that's going to rip you off. That means there's going to be a vacuum, and who knows who's going to fill that vacuum. But I will say this much. I'm as bullish as I've ever been. I think it's going to happen, and I think it's going to happen soon. It's going to happen quite suddenly, and I think we should all prepare for it. I don't think we have anything to worry about. My friend's AI says sometime this month it's going to happen. The early volley starting, the smaller hedge funds falling, and it's just a cascading effect. I believe that because a lot of the stuff that he said before has been pretty accurate, and I'm going to keep it at that. But I'm feeling bullish. I'm very confident. I'm still buying. I'm still holding. I'm still buying the dip. and I think you guys should do the same. That's not financial advice.
I love it. Yeah, keep
I like
doing
it.
it.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Thank you, Al. I appreciate your input. Cheddar, what's going on?
Hi. First, I want to just say the article that somebody was speaking about the armed forces or National Guard or whatever. I sent that to you via DM. I also pinned it and attached your name just so that and just put on there that this is what someone was speaking of.
Yeah, I just messaged you about it.
Okay, just for you, in case you wanted to take it, read into it before you start another space call about it or whatever, so you can inform yourself before someone starts speaking of it. You know what they're talking about. Also, as far as AMC, GME, and all the meme stocks are concerned, or just the financials altogether, I mean, I always like to bring things as basic elementary school as possible sometimes in my way of thinking, because I think so far into tinfoil hat theories, and I always say that and admit to it. But I guess the basic fundamentals for me is to remember business and quarterlies, and what we do around this time of year. And I know for me, I just sat with my financial. I just had to open all my books. I had to explain where my money was going and how my investments were being invested. And so I always have to remember that as a business when I invest too. So I try to bring myself to what they have to do right now. And that is, they also have to answer to what they're investing in to their clients. And well, you know, when you got a lot of money, you don't like it when someone plays fugazi with your money, right? So I just really believe in my heart that a lot of people have to answer to a lot of, excuse my French, fuckery right now, soon, to a lot of rich people, and as a nation in itself, between countries too. And my other phrase that I like to say is, when you know that you're going down, some people are really cruel and they like to try to take other countries down with them. And that's where my foil hat theory comes in too. So, I guess at the end of the day, I'd like to see us come out on top, and I just like to see us make a change and a difference. And let's just hope that they can figure out how to spend their money, like, properly from now on. But I doubt that's ever going to happen. But, at least we know we can, right? And we can change our local people. We can try to change where we're from. And if each person tries to change their city, their town, right? Because there's at least one AMC holder in every town. So as long as we try to help our people, we can stay afloat. And that's all I'm going to say.
Sorry, can I just say something real quick before we end or whatever? The one thing I really want to do with the money that I'm gonna make off of this shit is I want to provide or build something to where we could teach, you know, kids who are in fucking middle school, or high school or both, financial, how to invest, credit, like all that shit that fucking nobody taught me. Like I don't know about any of this, but like I grew up in San Francisco and we didn't learn about any of that fucking shit at any point during fucking school, which is like one thing I really want to do for kids growing up, so they don't fucking have to go to college and $150,000 loan and all that bullshit and fucking work for how many years to pay it off and all this shit. So I just want to throw that in there.
I went to a vocational school back in the 70s and 80s, and that's what I think we need more of, vocational schools, halfway between high school and college. Let
Oh
kids
yeah,
try.
that shit's gone. There's barely any of that, any programs, or barely got music and you know there's no extracurricular stuff like wood shop and fucking metal and like all that shit is gone. It's fucking it's sad.
That's a crying shame. That really is a crying shame. I didn't realize our schools were in that kind of disarray.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because like that was great for us.
It's
We got
less
4 hours credit for being in a class for an hour. They tell us to go to work, give us 3 hours for the credit of the class and a credit for co-op.
It's amazing what they've gone away from. I mean, I mean, the fact that I hear that people didn't actually have to take like econ and government in high school is actually kind of baffling to me because it was a requirement for any of our diplomas in high school where I went, actually anywhere in Indiana back then. And, you know, I had to take government econ in college too, a couple of different classes just to graduate. So, no, there's a definite lapse in education going on right now, for sure. Yeah, I do want to
I'm going to give you one guess of what I did. If you look at my profile, you see I'm a Detroit draftsman.
Can I segue into this conversation? So we're because of COVID, we lost some of our. We can't have our classes in trailers. We had trailers where they were supposed to get rid of so that the teachers can get classrooms. So the science teacher and the art teacher lost their classrooms because we didn't have enough funding for new classrooms, and they have to share this little space. I'm speaking about like a little closet space where they have so much supplies, but outdated supplies, mind you. But they're taking it with them because we don't have much. We have meager means, and to know that they're stuffed in this like box and trying to teach our kids these things. We used to have music, and I'm going to share my age a little bit with you guys. I'm going to be 39 this year. So I'm going to fast forward 32 years ago when I was the same age as the kids now. We had music, we had recorder, we had chorus, we had all these things. And now, fast forward now to this year, we don't have any of those things in our school. People are onto YouTube and TikTok and making these videos and these auto tunes and stuff, and it's taken away from like the substantial the you know the hard copies of books, the instruments. You're taking away all of these things that I feel like I had a better childhood than what my nieces and them have now. I mean, I can't say for my son yet, but I had a better childhood than them because we were exposed to these things. Whereas now, kids don't even know about instruments like they used to. Used to see kids carry those big suitcase-looking things with their violins and stuff. You don't see that anymore, and that's where the culture and all these things they
Want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
I used to walk down high school halls with a vacuum cleaner because I played the French horn. It wouldn't fit in a locker either.
Yeah, there and you don't see that no more, and it's very disheartening and it's upsetting. And I needed to segue into this conversation. Sorry, Kenya. Education is something that means a lot to me, and I feel like education is one of the key reasons of why some of us, not some of us, but our society got into this because we didn't educate in ourselves and what we didn't follow the money before. We didn't follow how to become rich and how to do these things, you know? And that's I mean, better late than ever. Even though, like someone just said, there's one of us, a few of us in each state, each country. I'm speaking to people from all over the world. I hope this keeps spreading. That's one of my hopes, my whys. I want this to spread. I want us to be. I just want change. I don't want to sound corny, but we need change because so much of us that has been on Twitter, we've been going through so much in our lives, and I'm not talking about financial. I'm talking about mental, all types of. We need to have these things that is going to help us because there's a lot of people that's going through anxiety, that's going through all types of disorders that we just need help. We need to change.
I hear you. I hear you. I've been around a couple of decades, and I'll tell you what, knowledge makes change.
I agree 100%, 101%.
No, you guys are absolutely right, and that's why I do what I do, right? All right, guys, we are gonna wrap this up tonight. We've gone 2 hours, Jesus. You guys, I don't know how you guys do it to me every time. All right, Gio, you are my last one. Oh, he's gone. I was gonna say you're my last one. I am going to keep this space open, and I'm gonna rename it, and we'll go into the after hours. All right, Gio, come on up. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it open. But yeah, we will be winding down the podcast after Geo talks. If he is staying. Oh. All right, just because I have a soft heart right now. D Cruz, you're coming up too. All right, you guys are lucky. Last two. That's it. I'm calling it. What's going on, Gio?
Hey everybody, how's everybody doing tonight? I just needed to get on here, Kenna, because I was listening. I just happened to get on this last couple of minutes, and it's funny. I'm 42 years old, so I graduated in '97. So mid '90s, I was already in high school. And even before then, I remember in intermediate, junior high, they would teach us how to balance a checkbook. We had home economics in high school. We had wood shop. We had auto shop. We had metal shop, typing. We had all these types of classes that would be preparing us for, getting us out there in the real world and preparing us. No longer are they doing that. And to be honest with you, I believe it's all done by plan. I asked my son, if he knew how to balance a checkbook, if he had any sort of extracurricular classes like wood shop or metal shop or auto shop. They've taken all that away. So now all the kids nowadays, all their focus is on social media, YouTube. How can I make money on there instead of getting a profession? Here within the next 10 years, the highest sought after jobs or paid jobs are going to be your electricians, your AC and HVAC unit contractors. So they're just, I believe, to be honest with you, they've done this on a purpose because a lot of kids nowadays, they're looking for a handout. I'm not saying all of them because some of them are still raised by us that grew up back in the day before the internet. I believe there's a post-internet, pre-internet era. And us here in the 40s, mid-40s, 50s, that you can say, we are the last link between pre-internet and post-internet. And now, for the kids that were born after 96, 95, that's all they've ever grown up with was the internet. So I just wanted to throw that in there, Kenna, because I found it interesting that you guys are bringing this up. And while I was back at home, I was discussing the same thing with my son. So I just need to go ahead and voice that out there. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have people disagreeing with me, and there's some that are going to agree. But for the most part, I think now our society is just based on what they can do easily without it putting any hard work. And I don't think that's a good thing where our society is going down.
Sorry, I had to unmute all my mics. No, you're absolutely right. We need education more than ever right now, and we need to get back. Just like I tell all you guys, we need to get back to basics. We need to, reform the education to what we had, and even before what we had. They keep cutting things, and you don't get a real-rounded education. No, you're absolutely right.
Appreciate you, Ken. Ken, appreciate everything you do. Hopefully,
I think the
after
critical age
MOAS,
that we're talking about is between middle school and high school, though, and we got to get them early because right about that time they're already stuck in the screens.
Absolutely. And if you go ahead and see, actually, they're starting them even earlier now. They start, parents nowadays, we're putting our kids in front of YouTube. We give them the iPad, the iPhone. And if you try to take away any of these phones or iPads from these kids at such a young age, you see the tantrums that they're doing. I remember when I was that age, if I were to throw a tantrum, I'd have to go get my own switch off the tree, take the leaves off, and I'd get a whooping.
Hey, easy now, because there's child abuse these days. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I had the big black belt pulled on me many a time, but I can't talk about it because.
Hey, I don't want to hear it. My mother. Oh my God! If we're talking about what would be considered child abuse today, my sister and I bit each other. I was probably 6. Okay. My sister would be 13, 14 years old. We bit each other. My mom put us both on the kitchen sink, put bars of soap in our mouth, told us to bite down. If we were going to bite anything, she wanted to see teeth marks. I kid you not, I was blowing bubbles for like 30 minutes after that. That was my mother. She, I mean, ruthless in the 90s. I will never, we never bit each other again. I kid you not. It worked. It worked. But, no, that would definitely be considered child abuse today.
Well, anything nowadays, even if you scold your son or your daughter, would be considered child abuse in some people's eyes. And that's what to be honest with you, I think they want us to lose control of our children's
We're
upbringing
too
and
soft.
Well, I
disciplining
think they
them.
want to
We're
develop
too soft.
a decibel meter. So if we scream over a certain decibel, then we can be charged with child abuse.
That's so true. That's so true. But you know what? That's
Damn
the
it.
sad reality of it today.
It's called Alexa.
Just say it's not.
Sorry, YouTube. I totally muted the
Oh,
wrong
I
thing.
hear you there, childrening. Yeah. Yeah,
Hey,
they have the upper hand these days.
D Cruz, what you got for me? We're gonna start wrapping this up. What do you got for me?
Not much. I think kind of to touch on what everybody's talking about, education. I used to go to the Waldorf school growing up, so that was more, I don't know if anybody's familiar with it. It's more like Montessori. So we used to go out into nature and build stuff, but I don't know. I think with my job and stuff right now, it's made it really hard with COVID. I'm sure everybody's in the same boat, but yeah, it hasn't been great.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And all right, so what I'm hearing, and I guess this could be a new pet project for me. And I think I can probably enlist a few teachers. Like, we all know Lady's a teacher. She's a phenomenal teacher. I mean, you have to be if you teach French. And her kids troll her all the time, so it's kind of great. I'm glad that she could take that. I guess we can, if you guys want, we can try to do like a little like junior type education, maybe. If I have some teachers that are willing to enlist in this little pet project, since I am not a professional in teaching in that aspect, we can try to do this. And I'll put it up on, once I get BullHouse's website up, it'll be free to the kids. We can start passing it around so they can kind of start learning, literally the basics of investing. What is a stock and how does the market work? What are cryptos and all the things that we talk about, but, bringing it down to more of their level, because I'm fairly, and I hate to say it that way because I don't like talking down to kids, but their brains, the ADD aspect, I don't care if they're diagnosed with it or not, the ADD aspect kicks in because it happens to me. So
Yeah, the cultural difference.
yeah. So if you guys want, we can try to add this into BullHouse, the junior investor type aspect education, and then we have the adult version where it's like, yeah, we have bigger money to play with. If you guys want, I can add this into the little pet project. That'll be on the website. I love it. I like hearing this. So I'm going to call on all my teachers. I'm going to need your help because I don't know how to put lesson plans together. I'm thinking like, hell, we could do like videos. That'd be good because kids hate reading for some reason. With a little fun and like graphics and things. Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna brainstorm this, and Hambone, he originally wanted to be an economics teacher, so I'll pick his brain too. He just didn't want to fight the parents. That's why he didn't do it.
Pick a bunch of fields.
Heck
like
yeah.
horticulture, body, wood shop, drafting, and just trying to put together a synopsis of each one and say, this is what you could be doing.
Heck yeah, I like it. Well, we're gonna enlist a lot of people from the community. We're growing a growing community. So whoever wants to help with this, I will put out a call to action probably within the month, because the website should be up by then, and we'll get this going. I like it a lot. And like I've always said, anything educational, things that you need to know. Not what the magazine will always be what you might want to know, like fun little articles, and I'm going to be reaching out to people to be content writers here shortly for November's release. But the need to know information will always be free on BullHouse website, basics and information and whatnot, and things that we're seeing. So with that being said, if you guys want to stick around for the after hour, God help me, space that I really am kind of terrified to bring up, stay in here. Other than that, everyone on YouTube, if you want to join us, get on Twitter, onto the Twitter space. It won't be recorded tonight. It's just going to be an open mic so everybody feels comfortable. The rules, I'm putting them out there. We are not to fight. This is not to be divisive. We are just going to talk, try to get a broad aspect of what everyone's seeing. Cool? Can we all agree to that?
Okay. Hey, can we say it's open? It's an autopsy club. It's open mic night.
It is open mic night. Again, if you wouldn't say it to somebody in person because they're gonna punch you, just don't say it. Cool. All right, everyone on YouTube, I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. We don't have a takeover this week, so I'll figure out what we're talking about. We might have some fun. We might have another one of these kind of fun podcasts where we just shoot the shit and whatever. So, all right, guys, I will be back in Twitter space, YouTube. Everyone, have a great night.